Welcome to episode 6 of I Don't Know Shit About Music. I'm your host, Nick, and we got Little Trouble in Big Wasp, or is it Big Trouble in Little China? I don't know. Basically, we have some instability in the Wasp lineup right now, and I was sweating. I was a little nervous for a second, because I didn't know what was going on, but essentially, our drummer is moving to Virginia, and I'm like, that's fantastic. just great. We're literally about to, do so much. Like I have so much like planned. Like I want to film acoustic sessions. We want to record 2 EPs, and all this shit. And then just hearing that, I was like, fuck, that sucks. That, and then just our bassist just like stopped answering. I've not heard from Quincy in about 2 weeks. I'm gonna reach out to him and be like, yo, are you still in this, or what's going on? Had a chat with Robert though, and he's still in. He likes it. We're definitely gonna continue on. We're gonna push on. Christian's not leaving till middle of June though, so we'll push on with him for a bit. Try to do as much as we can, and try to not have these obstacles really bring us down in any sort of way, because they very easily could. And I'm flashing back to like Harvard Drive and everything after we fired our original drummer Josh, and we looked for drummers, but we were too picky, and we also had Pedro who was filling in, and he was just too good. So we were like, okay, we need to find someone who's good as Pedro, but we couldn't, and that sucked. But it's flashed me back to just that stagnant like period of time where like nothing was going. Like we were occasionally in the studio. It was dreadful, and we were playing shows whenever Pedro was available. We were at the mercy of Pedro at that point, and it sucked. And I don't want to find myself in that position again. So if you're listening to this and it's still earlier than mid-June, and you're a good drummer in the Orlando area, I know that's a lot of criteria to meet, but if you meet those, hit up the line, DM our Instagram, whatever. I'll be putting out advertisements soon for new drummer wanted. Robert and Quincy have their own like side project called the Backseat Crabs, and they have their drummer. His name's Colin. I've met him. He's a really good drummer. Knows his shit. Looks like he's very comfortable behind the kit, which is super important. And Robert's like, we could look into having Colin fill in on drums. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm down to try him out. Like, let's see how it goes. He definitely impressed me. And I was like, how old is he? Because right now a lot of the clubs and bars are only doing 21 and over shows because they have limited capacity, so they're trying to sell alcohol, as much as they can. So they're not going to let somebody in that's not going to buy shit. So we need to find people over 21 basically. And he was like, I was like, is he over 21? And Robert's like, no, he just graduated. And I was like, so did he graduate early? And he's like, no, he just graduated high school. And I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea this kid was so young. Just graduating high school. So now I'm like, well, I don't know where he's going to college, if he's doing that, or where he's going after high school. And I'm not trying to pull in a drummer that's temporary. I'm trying to pull in a drummer that's here for at least, 6 months. And then we'll see from there. I mean, God bless. Who knows, Strange times. Like, I feel like we can't be, dilly-dallying. This is, lots of places are opening up again. Things are coming back. On Thursday, I will be cleared. It'll be 2 weeks since my second vaccine, and I'm going out. I mean, I've kind of already been going out recently. Like I went out to get drinks last night, but much more tame. Like we were sitting at a bar and there was nobody on either side of us, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Um, Although my throat does no shit. Ooh, that was a weird waveform. Um, my throat does kind of sting a little. I don't know. Who knows? It's probably is just coughing. I don't know. Fucking irrelevant at this point, right? But yeah, on Thursday, I'm done with COVID. That's the way I'm looking at it. I see people talk about the booster shots, and I'm like, do I want to though? It's like I should maybe, but because they start to compare it to the flu shot, and my whole thing with the flu shot is I've never gotten a flu shot, and I've gotten the flu once my entire life, and it was just being sick for a week. I was on Z-Pack or whatever, whatever the medicine is they give you. I was taking hella drugs and just sleeping, and this was forever ago. I was a kid, a disgusting kid. Now, I'm taking vitamins. I'm washing my hands. I'm always wearing a mask. I'm constantly, I'm very, very conscious about my surroundings and my cleanliness anymore. But like I haven't been sick since the beginning. I got sick right after lockdown, and I freaked the fuck out. I was like, yo, I got it, and I just gave it to everybody. But it was one of I get sinus infections relatively often, but I have not been sick since March of 2020, and I'm just like crossing my fingers, like I don't want to get sick again, ever, if I can help it. And I feel like masks and people just cleaning more, it like really makes a difference. And I don't think we've gone that far out of our way to really justify bitching about doing it or justify not doing it. Like it's like not by doing it I mean like being clean. Wearing masks is one thing. Like I think personally when I go into the future now, because we're gonna move onto a maskless world again, I'm sure, but I don't think it will be as maskless as we were before COVID. Will be like personally, I think when I'm sick and I have to go out, I'm gonna wear a mask because I would hope other people would. I would hope everybody does, some sort of fucking civic duty, whatever you want to call it, and just, be considerate. I know a lot of Asian countries do that, where they'll wear, and they do it for pollution too, apparently. But like if they're feeling a little under the weather, they'll put on a mask when they go out, and I'm like, that's so like, that's just a courtesy that is going to be very hard to come by, I think, and but like it's gonna. I know the way I think, my petty ass self, if I'm wearing a mask when I'm sick and I see other people that are sick and like just out in public coughing anymore, like after this whole pandemic, I am going to like have such a strong disdain for that person. I would loathe them because I'd just be like, dude, how fucking hard is it to put on a mask? Like we've been doing this for over a year now, and like personally, I don't know. I've never had. The biggest issue I've had is with my glasses or with sunglasses, and they fog up. But like, other than that, that's like it hasn't been that bad unless I'm outside and it's hot. Like if you're outside and it's hot, fuck the mask. Like you're outside, you're spread out, and the heat should kill most of the shit, right? The UV from the sun, something like that. I don't know. In Florida, that's how it works at least. I'm surprised we weren't. We were pretty bad at one point with our COVID, but I feel like, man, it could have been so much worse, so much worse if we were a cold state, and we were like the way we are, where we're. The only other state that is comparable to Texas, in my opinion, really is Florida, where you have. I mean, you could say something like Montana, I guess, but not really. With Florida, you have industry and tourism, and so does Texas, What does Montana have? I guess a little bit of nature tourism. But I'm serious. Like, imagine if one of these two states where we have a lot of like quote unquote freedoms, and the ability to just kind of do more of what we want without and by that I mean you mainly gun laws. It's like the big thing, because we still like Florida still doesn't have legalized pot. We still don't have, like we're still behind on a lot of those like more socially liberal issues. Like I don't know. I like here we go talking about politics. I know I don't. Now if there's one thing I definitely don't know shit about, it's politics. No normal person. Like I guess some of my songs are somewhat political, but like they're just my thoughts. It's not like I don't take it by as the canon. It's not the canon of politics, but like the socially liberal issues we're behind on in Florida still, and it's very strange that we are, because it's Florida. Like, this is a fucking wasteland. This is the Wild West out here. People don't give a fuck. Like, this place is crazy, and I've come to love living here. I know a lot of people that shit on Florida, but those people never live in Florida. That's the thing. You have to come to Florida. You got to live here a couple years, get really ingrained into the culture of Florida. The Florida culture is wild, man. Like, Jesus, like we just don't give a fuck. I remember when we first moved to Florida, I was 15, 16. My dad got a job in Florida, and we came over here. And he would come home from work at like 4:30. And then on Fridays, sometimes he'd go to work. And that's just like, that was like the Florida, it was more the South Florida, because we were outside of Fort Lauderdale and Miami. It was more like that South Florida work culture where it's like, you can get your work done during the day, but you don't need to stay after. You don't need to go crazy, and I loved it as, growing up. I was already 15, but, I got to spend more time with my dad than I especially did in Texas when he was super busy. And Texas is the complete opposite. Like work, shit, work culture, workflow. I don't know. But like you work your ass off in Texas. Well, all this shit about how like I had to walk uphill both ways for 9 miles in the snow to school every day. That type of bullshit. But Florida's just like, man, we know we got beaches. So if the weather's nice on a Friday, no one's going to stop you from just skipping work and going to the fucking beach. And it's honestly pretty great. There are a lot of people, I feel like, especially in Orlando. I don't fuck with how many people there are, but I mean, what can you do? There's people everywhere I'm okay with living, which I've kind of determined is either south or slightly north of the I-10 freeway, Interstate 10, from Jacksonville to Santa Monica. That anything south of that I'll live in, because I like the warmer weather with a little bit of a chill in like January, February. I like experiencing, I gotta get the jackets out for 2 months. But I don't want more than 2 months. Although I really do hate the summer months here, where it's like hitting 90 daily. Especially, like, I feel like I've never had a room that had decent air conditioning. So I'm sitting here with 2 fans on, and I'm always in shorts and a t-shirt in my room. I'm never wearing anything else except shorts and a t-shirt, because it's like a sweat lodge. It's half the time. But I mean, what can you do? It's always been like, I've just always had a hot room. Always. I used to live above the garage in South Florida. So I had, and both were in both houses we lived in South Florida. My room was above the garage, so that was always hot. My room, my dorm, or like my college apartment, was always hot. It had the evening sun? I don't remember. I think it was. And it would just heat up that one room like a microwave. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but I was just like, I guess this is my life now. I just got to get akin to sweating all the fucking time. And it's annoying when I try to record shit because I sweat like a motherfucker when I record. Because it's like intense, I guess. Not right now, not like sitting here just talking into a microphone. But if I'm like, I gotta keep beat, I'm doing like guitar tracks or something and I gotta make sure everything is sounding good. I'm like focusing on three things at once, making sure my fucking audio card doesn't shit out on me as it does. And probably, I mean, it's been 15 uninterrupted minutes so far, so we're doing pretty good. Although I did hear a little glitch like 6 or 7 minutes in, but we'll see if that comes out on the final recording. I really need to get myself a new Focus, right? I don't know why I'm still fucking with this one, but because they're expensive, man. I don't want to drop $250, man. I need a PA. I feel like the Focusrite is handling it for now. I need to get myself a PA before I do anything else. There's so much I need to do. Pushing back law school, though. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I got my results back and from the LSAT, and I knew the practice tests are pretty accurate. It looks like I was getting in the high 150s on all my practice tests, and I scored a 156 on the final. So now I know it's pretty accurate. What I'm doing is I'm pushing it back a year. I'm gonna take it again next April 2022, to get in for August 2022, and this way I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna do the more traditional timeline of studying. With this, the first time I was doing like 4 hours every day of just like straight up practice and everything, and it was wearing me down. And then like I just stopped seeing results. I stopped seeing like things getting better. So I was like, okay, I took it and I'm like, okay, now let's try it the real way. Cause I was like, there's no way I'm going to take it again in 3 months. And it's just like, and still try to get in August. Like, no, this is not happening. I mean, I would take it in 3 months. I would have taken it I would have had to take it in June. Would not have been ready. Would not have scored. Maybe would have broke 160, but hardly. Like, I doubt it. I'm like out of practice already. So I'm getting back in it this week. And I'm going to do 2 hours 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 hours. And just, work on that. Get it all. Just get like a good rhythm down and finally really start to learn some of those more difficult things. I kind of just took a chance on the LSAT, and I was like, I'm going to hope I get just like easy questions, which is fucking stupid of me. But I scored above average, so I'm not like pissed, I guess. I'm just like, okay, I should have been I mentally prepared myself, but I should have seen this coming a little more. Should have understood that like this is not possible. If I was on a crunch and I really had to get into law school like now, I can. Like I'm not worried about the score. It's my main thing is I'm not trying to pay off undergrad debt and law school debt. So my main thing is I want to score high enough to get either a partial ride or a full ride to law school, so I don't have to I don't want to worry about that. And if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, and I don't know what the reason would be, like I would have to just be god awful at everything, on the LSAT, like god awful. Never improve over what a 156, all that. I'm trying to break 170, and that's super ambitious, but I think I could do it in a year now, especially now that I've seen it. I know what I'm doing a little more. Like I know what's going on. So I'm gonna, regroup, come back in April or around April, whenever they offer that LSAT. Then they haven't announced it yet, obviously, because it's a fucking year away. But yeah, I'm gonna come back to it and I'm gonna fucking get myself in law school and not pay for it. that's the dream, right? Because I was a fucking idiot with undergrad, found 0 scholarships. Now I'm sitting here with undergrad debt, which is stupid. But that's what happens when you get a bunch of 18-year-olds together and make them sign loans for $20,000. Like, what the fuck? We're not the 18-year-olds of today are not the 18-year-olds of yesterday or whatever the fuck you want to, however the fuck you want to say it. Like, people are being raised, I feel like people are aging slower because we're living longer. So we don't need to, like, in like the 70s. And the other thing is, like, obviously college was so much cheaper. So you're not having to worry about these 20K debt or anything, or whatever the debt is that, you know, that people get. I've seen people go up to like 40, 100 sometimes. If you go to like the private schools, I'm just like, that is fucking ridiculous. That is a crime. That is an actual crime that it costs that much. Because when you look at the breakdown, I've looked at the breakdown of my college tuition receipts, and it's just stupid shit. I'm not going to use so many administrative fees, so many, like, like a transport fee, which I used shuttles for 3 years. So that one wasn't too bad, but the big thing is they had that, and then that was supposed to like help pay for parking too, but then you also had to pay for a parking pass. So I think it was $50 for a year. Was it only 50? Might have been 100. I can't remember, because I know I got the year one because it was cheaper than buying the half year each, you know, whatever they do it. That's how they get you. And you're like, oh, I might as well just get the full year. But they extended it because of COVID, so I got it until I graduated, which was super nice. Because I would have been pissed if they, you know, made you buy a new one. And I was like, well, I fucking paid for a whole year. Give me the whole fucking year. And if I'm not using it, I don't know. I think it's super dumb to pay for parking. When I went to FIU my freshman year in 2015, the parking was free. All you had to do was register your license plate so they knew you were a student. Like, how is that so hard? I understand UCF is massive. We are one of if not the biggest, the second biggest college in America. And you know, like 60K, but like a good portion of that are online students. We have a lot of online kids, like people from like Michigan or like random ass states. They just come here for whatever reason, but they're online. I'm just like, I feel like you probably would have had a better time just going to college in your state, but all right. Like, I don't know. Because that's the other thing, though, when I was looking at the breakdown, is with so many of the classes being online anymore, because of COVID, they started charging. Well, when you had an online class before, you would pay per credit hour, however much it was. I think it was like 128 or some bullshit. So a three credit hour course was almost $400, and then you had the distance learning fee that you had to pay, which was given because like the explanation was, well, you know, an online course is difficult to teach or whatever. But then when COVID hit, even the classes that were like they're supposed to be in person but were more hybrid now, they included the charge on it, the distance learning fee. And it's like, no, that's not. And I don't even know how much. I think it was like 25 a credit hour. I have no idea how much it was. I have to go back and look, because I try to just forget as much about school as possible. But I was just like, how the fuck are you gonna like already make it so that classes are fucked? Classes are super fucked right now. Or they were. They're getting better, I believe. And then you're also going to charge extra for a worse learning experience. Like, no, this isn't how it should happen. And people were pissed. And I was like, rightfully so, man. I was pissed too, even though I only had one class. You know, it was my last semester that they did that. And I only had the one class. So I was like, it didn't screw me over that bad. But it screwed a lot of people over. Some people can't do online learning. You know, they can't do they need that in person communication and learning, and if they don't have it, then they're gonna fail. I know a lot of people who lost their, like, people who had straight A's throughout their entire career of college, and they lost it that semester, these past semesters, because it was fucked. I feel incredibly fortunate for my classes because they were designed in a way that made them easier. Which, I mean, you can argue I'm fortunate. You can argue I'm unfortunate because of I may have missed out on certain experiences, and I totally did. I mean, I saw what the syllabus was supposed to look like for my capstone class, and then I saw what we did, and we did not do a whole lot. Like the main thing for my capstone class was just my final project. That's all he wanted, and he held like 5 or 6 classes the whole semester, and then we met on Zoom a couple times. But and then the classes were just like in-person camera demonstrations, lighting setups, just things, tips and tricks. And I would go to those because I was like, fuck, I mean, I'm paying for this shit. Like, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I wish I could go back and really get into my head is like, you're paying for this. You need to go get your ass up, go to class. Like there was just so many times I fucked around, and it's so easy to fuck around because you have your peers doing the same bullshit as you, where you're like, I was up kind of late, and you see them in the, or like you see that your friend was up till like 3 a.m. because they said something in the group chat, and you're like, yo, so was I, and then you just fucking skip class together because you're too fucking tired or whatever. Like it's all that type of shit. Peer pressure is a bitch, man. But I tell you what, ever since my final semester of college, things clicked. Things changed in my head. Like I don't know if it was COVID, or I don't know if it was just me getting older. I think it could be just a combination of everything going on, and it getting older. But something just clicked where I was like, I should just take things more seriously. I should just go out and do more things. I should be more active. I should do, like, instead of just sitting here and fucking fiddling my dick or whatever the fuck I do half the time is like, it's like fucking just play video games like all day, or like that's why I started this. That's why this podcast, I talk about it all the fucking time. Why I started this, and I really started recording music more. I got the band together. I just started showing initiative and things. I got an internship that led to my current job, and I'm getting paid to do audio video production work. Something I love to do. Like I enjoy this so much, and I'm getting paid for it, and it's fantastic. Like I couldn't be happier. And it's like I'm not even making that much. Like I'm making an okay wage, but it's not like necessarily completely livable right now. But I'm very fortunate. I still have my parents helping me out and things like that, which is fantastic. I mean, people, they like to just shit on you if you have help for whatever reason. If you have help, you just get shit on, man, and it's like really annoying because it's like, look, like if my parents are gonna offer me help or somebody's gonna offer me help, whoever it is, and it's especially if it's my parents, it's like almost unconditional help. You know what I mean? Like maybe not unconditional, but they're not expecting to get anything from this. What they're expecting to get from helping me is seeing me be happy and seeing me succeed. And that's such an incredible thing, and I feel like a lot of people that will tear others down for having that help are people who don't have that help, and it sucks that people don't have that help. Like I wish more and more people could experience not being stressed constantly about things like money and things like that. But I just like, we're going way down some rabbit holes. I'm not even talking about music. I mean, it's kind of like I'm just bringing it in occasionally, but yeah, I've had people just shit on me. It's like daddy's money, and it's like, no, that's not what it is. I'm not, some dumb. I was just about to go very we'll do it. I'm not just some dumb blonde valley girl with dad's credit card, going to the mall. Like, I'm doing real shit. I'm trying my best at what I have, and I have a head start. Like, yeah, okay. I'm just it's not like I'm fucking filthy rich. They're like helping me so I don't fucking be homeless. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't know. There's people who just fucking, they hate to see somebody succeed with help or somebody just have help. And it's like, why? What, like, I understand that you may have missed out on that. And that really sucks. But it's almost like the pay it forward type of thing of like, maybe one day you could help somebody. Nobody helps you, but you could make a change. Like I totally, like, I feel like I want to help people just because I've been helped so much. It's like I've seen what a little bit can do. So now I'm really just like, I don't know what the fuck. What am I, just some guru or some shit? I don't know. But I don't know how we got here. Oh, I was fucking talking about my job. God bless and how happy I am. I'm blessed, man. Yeah. But I'm ecstatic. Moving up in my job. Like, I just got a promotion and a raise and all that, so that's really exciting. Monday, the day this is released, is my first day with interns, or maybe just one intern though. Yeah, that was a whole fucking process. So we set up, me and my boss Ryan set up and with the help of Simon, my coworker, we set up the productions department at Ryan Ace Music. And the whole we modeled it after the other departments that already existed: marketing, operations, and finance. And we modeled it after, okay, there's one paid employee basically who's like the lead of the internship, and then there's interns, and the interns do a lot of the not so much busy work, but they do a lot of things like, I was a marketing intern when I started. Like, productions did not exist when I had my internship. So I was kind of like a mini productions department within marketing all by myself. And what we would do was a lot of create graphics, schedule posts on social media. I was in charge of keeping tabs on the YouTube channel, making sure I was replying to comments, things like that. Just things that are like menial, but they matter at the same time. Like, they're still important. They're not. It's not straight up busy work, And then, so now, I'll have that similar model, but it looks like I'm only gonna have one fucking intern. I'm just like, how did I get here and why? I interviewed so many people and I had so many more scheduled, but I had 4 cancellations and 2 no-shows for the interviews. And I was like, how are you gonna no-show to a fucking interview? I was pissed. I was so pissed because, like, you're wasting my goddamn time at this point. Like, I don't know. Don't just reach out to us. Like, just say, hey, I can't. Like, I don't know. Don't waste my fucking time, man. I'm busy. Not even that busy right now, but I will be. Shit. Like, so I'm gonna have one intern confirmed. But I'll have two previous interns from marketing. They're sticking around and they wanna flip over to the production side. So I just kind of stole some marketing interns basically. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm like super excited because there's gonna be just crazy things going on. So many different productions, and I live for that. I live for the adrenaline of juggling productions, especially live productions. And we have a recital in June again. And when we did the live recital back in March, it was so much fun because it was so stressful. Like, I know that sounds really weird, but it was completely virtual. Nobody was in the same room as each other unless they lived together, because there were a couple students that were siblings. But everything was through Zoom, and then I had OBS running on my computer. So I was sitting at home. Ryan was at the school hosting it, and then everybody else was at their homes, on their laptops, their iPads, wherever they had a webcam, and they were in the Zoom meeting. And I had it streaming to YouTube, and that's how people were watching it. I recorded the whole thing too, and then I edited it so it looked clean. Put that up on the YouTube as well, and it was just such a good time because it brought me back to when I was working nightly news every week on campus at UCF when I was doing audio. It just reminded me of the hustle and bustle, like this is real. This is live. People are counting on this, and I loved it. I don't know why. It just made me so happy because you see people like talk about like adrenaline and things like that, and like you're like, that's such a weird fucking thing to love. Like I don't know, but because to me, like I see a lot of like comedians specifically talk about the adrenaline rush of like going on stage and nearly bombing and shit like that, and that, like, I understand that. I completely understand that, mainly as a musician and as someone who enjoys public speaking. I remember the first public speaking class I took was freshman year of high school, and the first day of class, he's like, the teacher stands at the front of the room and he looks at me and another kid who are freshmen, and he's like, I keep telling the school that they shouldn't let freshmen in this class. Y'all are too young. And then I went up there like the whole class and just was one of the best students, and I was like, fuck you. And then I ended up taking public speaking again at FIU and just loved the hell out of it. I mean, some of my speeches bombed, but that was part of it, man. Like that was part of it, and that is just part of like that adrenaline rush. Is like anything could go terribly wrong at any second, you know. Like it was crazy. And now that I compared that whole recital to nightly, it clicked. Something clicked in my head where I was like, oh, this is a live studio production, basically. It's just a virtual studio. We have Zoom and OBS. That's the studio. It's a virtual, all virtual. Virtual. But we need the people like it is a real studio. We need that assistant director who's counting down, who's watching the time, saying how much is left on each clip, whatever. You know, we need that technical director who's switching. We need the director who's saying switch to this. You know, we need these things. And a floor director. Simon was technically a floor director because he was at the office with Ryan and he was, you know, giving him direction and everything. But it was just crazy stuff. I had so much fun, and I'm excited to do it again. I think this one is going to be more in person though. He booked a venue, and I'll be there. We're probably gonna shoot it and live stream it as well. And so that's gonna be interesting because that's just gonna be a whole new ball game again. It's gonna be like just starting it over with, you know, adding another element because he still wants to stream it. He still wants there to be a virtual element. So now there's the element of we have to stream it through, you know, to YouTube, but we're going to be zooming people in, you know, through Zoom, and then we're going to have a projector, and it's just going to project up on the stage where a student would be, and it's just going to be on a big screen, and they'll be performing through Zoom there. So now we're going to have to figure out how to route audio, you know, into the speakers of the venue from Zoom, which is like not going to be a big problem, but, you know, it might take two computers. I don't know. I don't think we could do it with just one, which is going to be probably two people, you know, and then a third. Like, I think there's a lot of cool things we could do if we have the equipment by then. Like, I think it would be super dope to have two cameras to switch between, and it's totally doable. It's just getting the equipment in time and finding it for a decent enough price because we still have a budget, you know. We still nothing's infinite, but I'm super excited. I'm super excited to be working on this. We're talking about a festival. We're talking about the YouTube channel is coming back. You know, he wants to make a lot of videos. We have the podcast. Simon and I have been working a lot on the news one. I'm excited to see how that turns out. That's why I'm super excited about interns, because they're going to be doing the grunt work, the work I don't want to do. I mean, and mainly that's going to be the organizing clips, putting them on the timelines, you know, doing some editing, making sure things look, I just fucking smacked the mic, making sure things look good and all that. And then I'll come through and, you know, clean everything up and really put the finishing touches on everything, and I just like I'm excited. I'm excited for the amount of content that is going to come out with my name on it, with my, you know, experience on it and everything. And I'm excited to share my knowledge with this intern, and just I'm excited. I'm excited. So I got that going for me, but I need to figure out what the fuck's going on with my band. Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Quincy today and be like, "Yo, dude, everything good? It's been like 2 weeks. Where you been? You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy, crazy stuff. But I think that's about fucking it, mate. I don't got much else to rant about right now. I could talk about Greta Van Fleet again. Actually, this is something that may shock a few people. Last night I was hanging out with this girl, and she was showing me this artist named SZA, who I've heard of, and I knew she was like, what is it, like, would you call that R&B? I don't know. I don't know. Like, just pop music. Like, I guess it could be R&B. And she's super chill, but she's good. Like, her music's very vibey. So, check her out. Which she's like fucking massive, so she don't need to 37 million monthly listeners. Fuck off. 854 million plays on her biggest song. Like, get the fuck out of here. We talk about eat the rich or whatever. Fuck these people that got that many streams, man. You want to bitch about billionaires? I'm bitching about 800 million streaminaires, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I do that though. I look at people and I'm like, why the fuck? Like, here's Travis Scott has over 1 billion plays on 2 songs in his top 5. Like, and 2 more songs are super close to getting 1 billion. That's fucked. Where's my 1 billion streams? Like, Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground only has 127 million. That song's massive, I thought. Like, what is this? Let's see. Let's look at some other. Borns. Borns is pretty big, right? 522,000. Who are these people that are listening to Travis Scott? Is he... Like, I know who Travis Scott is. Like, I understand he's big, but, like, that big? Rap is huge. People say it's dying, but I don't know. Lady Gaga's got over 1 billion. I think rap's changing. It's people are, and it's changing for the better. I've seen some new artists come out, and I'm like, oh, these guys get it. I think the one guy's name is Norman San. Let me look it up so I can get. Norman San, SANN. He's just been dropping some random singles, and they're usually just solid, and most of them are freestyles, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Houston, Texas, so, you know, Houston represent. Definitely, if you want to listen to some new rap, definitely check out Norman San. He's pretty real. But yeah, that's it. I think if you made it this far, like, good shit. If you made it through all my... I'm so happy, I'm so blessed. If you made it through all that, you deserve a cookie. Fortunately, I don't have any on me. Possible upcoming dates. The Wasp might play the Fringe Festival. We'll see, because I don't have a band. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for the Wasp. I'm going to try to... We're going to come... It's going to get together. Don't worry. It's going to... Don't worry. Okay? All right. That's it. Yeah, if you made it this far, like, congratulations, but go get a fucking life. Peace.